you really want bigger, better, and brighter, I need you to know that you may get picked on your way to better. There's some folk that are going to talk about you on your way to better. There's some folk that are going to count you out on your way to better. There's some folk that are going to doubt who you are on your way to better. There's some folk that aren't going to believe in you on your way to better. There's some folk that think you ain't hitting on nothing on your way to better. There's some folk like Hannah Penina. Somebody took your man 25 years ago and you still mad about it. I came today to say, let it go. Let it go. Elton and I thought he had it going on, but me and I came to say, that man that took that woman, she's spending up all his money anyhow. Let it go. Let it go. And in the church today, we get caught up on who going to what church. Let it go. Let it go. Because if they are going somewhere where they are receiving a word from God, that is something to celebrate. No matter what situation you find yourself in, let go and let God. And everything. And everything. 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 Everything will be all right. Glory be to Almighty God. Because God is still God, and He's still God all by Himself. If you believe that on today, why don't you rest on your feet and put your hands together. No matter what you're standing in need of today, He is a need supplier. You know, I was talking to someone the other day and I said, you know, God is the master of impossibilities. He loves an impossible situation because it's in those moments that God is able to reveal to us exactly who He is.